Alright, so Global's 3rd anniversary is just around the corner and I hope you've saved up some gems because I think it's gonna be a banger. Now, these festival units that are on the anniversaries are usually a banger, and even from the previous 2 years, the units are still usable today. Whatever unit is going to be, even though the banner might not be as good when compared to like the one ultimate banner as well as the Purgatory Meliodas banner that we've had, which have been like the best banners the game has ever had. And only the November and December festival banners are of course gonna be able to beat it for this year as well. But while the 3rd Annie banner might not be that great, I do still think the unit is gonna be worth summoning on. So today I'll go over what I think is going to be the 3rd anniversary unit, what my predictions are for the banner, and sort of go over all that good stuff. But do let me know in the comments down below what you think we will get for a 3rd anniversary unit. It's always fun to read that stuff. But anyway, yeah, let's just get into it. Alright, to start off with, just to get this out there, I don't think it's going to be Mael. Now, the Archangels are in desperate need of like a really good unit for their roster. But honestly, I don't think it's going to be Mael for the simple reason that Mael will probably be a light unit. We've already had a light unit and a dark unit like almost back to back. And then releasing another one just a month or two later, that's just probably not gonna happen. Unless of course they make Mael into some kind of red, green or blue unit, which would kind of suck, especially considering like the hype surrounding that character. Now, if Mael doesn't release now, when do I think he's going to release? Well, he could potentially release for the JP 4th anniversary, which will happen around May in a few months time. Because if we look at last year we got Light Liz as the 3rd anniversary unit for the JP anniversary, and she was the first light unit. Now, I do believe Mael being a really hype unit will bring a lot of money for like the JP 4th anniversary. That does, to me at least, feel like a safe bet. Now, in terms of what unit I think it's going to be, I actually think it's going to be a regular Sin Festival, because if you look at what we've gotten on the global anniversaries in the previous years, in 2021 we actually got Merlin. Now, Merlin was a decent festival at the time, and she's still kind of usable to this day to counter some of the teams. As recently as December, to actually counter the one ultimate. Which is just crazy to me to think about, like a 2-year-old unit being able to counter, at the time, one of the absolute top best units of all time. Now then, if you travel forward in time to the 24th of February 2022, we actually got Queen Diane. Now, Queen Diane is still usable today. Now, of course, she has dropped off a little bit in PvP ever since like the new units started releasing. They were completely like crushing her. She has still seen like a resurgence as a part of the best Nidhogg team that is able to clear floor 3. So then, what festival units can we actually see if it happens to be a 7 Deadly Sins unit? Now, personally, my bets are on either Gopher or Ban. I was going to say King, even though King does have 2 units, but I was only going to say that up until recently, because Festival King actually got his Holy Relic, and if we kind of look at what they've done in previous releases of like Holy Relics, whenever they release a new Holy Relic, they sort of release a new variation for that specific unit. With King, that also happened to be true. We're just getting the Valentine's Day King, which is sort of based on the OG Festival King. Now, this does also tie into actually me thinking that it's going to be a 7 Deadly Sins unit, because that unit in particular actually buffs 7 Deadly Sins units basic stats by 8% for every 7 Deadly Sins unit on the team. Now, he could work as a really good backline unit for like potentially really good 7 Deadly Sins team, maybe featuring this Diane. Maybe even this Merlin and then something else. So that King is a really good like backline unit for that sort of team. And so the only other 2 options that I'm seeing here is of course a new Gopher as well as a new Ban. Now, we got Hijack Gopher in September of 2021, and we got Ban way before that in May of 2021. So these 2 units haven't seen a new unit in like a year and a half, even more than that, especially Ban. And potentially, like if you look at the story, we could potentially see a new type of Ban, a new type of Gopher, because in the story, Ban is going to get his Sacred Treasure, and in the story already we've seen Gopher use some new attacks and stuff like that. Original, I kind of wanted King to get his Yggdracloth form, like that would have been a super hype festival for me personally, but having a new festival Gopher with sort of the kaleidoscope, whatever it's called, technique that he uses to actually make duplicates of King in his Yggdracloth form when they were facing Mael after having consumed 4 of the commandments, could be kind of cool. Maybe it's that sort of ability, instead of ranking up cards, allows a unit to attack twice with a single card, or something like that. That could be really nice. And it would be sort of the one-armed Gopher or whatever as a sort of base model. So that is like one of my predictions. But another one is of course Ban with his Sacred Treasure. Now if you don't know what his Sacred Treasure does, it basically allows him to like hit any target at almost any distance from almost any angle. In the story he gets it from Merlin when they're facing the Chimera Indra, and he kills all the little ones, right? So that could be a really cool Ban festival unit that I think we might see. And honestly, having some more human units, maybe he's a human buffer, maybe he's a sins buffer. It would almost make more sense if he's a sins buffer, and then we can sort of potentially see a sins team with him, with the new king, as well as any sort of old sins and new sins that we are gonna see in the future, because of course we're gonna keep seeing new variations of the main characters of the story, right? Now any sort of other unit getting a festival, and that is a 7 Deadly Sins unit, I don't think that's going to happen. Merlin already has 2 of them. Diane of course got one last year. She only has one, but like does she really need another one that should release on like the exact same date for the exact same type of festival? I don't think so. Escanor and Meliodas already got 2 new ones. I don't think that's gonna happen. And then the other one that's kind of a sin but not really is of course Elizabeth, but I don't really see Elizabeth getting a new festival units just yet. Now, are there any other festival units that we could potentially see that are not 7 Deadly Sins units or not Archangels units? Now, of course, we could potentially see a Zeldris unit when he's facing off against Demon King Meliodas. We could potentially even see Demon King Zeldris, but I don't really think so. Not quite yet, right? But there is a possibility for that as well. I just want to throw that out there. I don't think that's likely. I still think we're gonna see a Sins festival. Any sort of other units are probably out of the question. I don't think we're gonna see any sort of festival of the other Archangels, any sort of other unit. I mean, unless they release a festival Twigo, then, you know, I'll get him 6/6 or whatever, but anything else I don't think so. So yeah, those are my predictions. I think we're gonna get either a festival Ban or a festival Gopher. More leaning towards a Ban, if I'm being honest. A Gopher would have been nice. Yggdra King would have been nice, but of course we got a King just now. There's no way they're gonna release 2 King units back to back in the same month like that. That's just stupid, especially when one buffs Sins units and like you can't use them on the same team. That's alright, whatever. And Mael is kind of out of the question as well, at least in my opinion. Like, they could of course release a Mael unit, they can release him whenever they want. They could release Chaos Arthur for all I know. Like, they released Purgatory Ban so far in advance to where the story actually was. That just chronologically speaking doesn't even matter anymore, right? And of course, maybe, there's a small chance we can actually see a Festival Zeldris. But yeah, those are my predictions. Those are the units I think are going to be the most likely that we'll see as the Festival Banner unit for the global 3rd anniversary. But anyway, that's gonna be it for me. Let me know in the comments down below what you think the festival unit is going to be. Do you think I'm like completely off base and yeah, oh my god, it's 1,000,000% gonna be Mael? Just let me know. Tell me how much of an idiot I am, or how much you agree with me, how amazing my predictive skills are. But anyway, that's it for me. Hope you liked the video. Thanks for watching. Hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. And yeah, I guess I'll catch you in the next one. Bye.